Good evening, Notre Dame class of 2028, and welcome home. My name is Micki Kidder, and I am privileged to serve as Notre Dame's Vice President for Enrollment. Tonight, I am most excited to welcome you, the newest members of our joyful, talented, strong, and other-centered global Notre Dame family. To the students joining us this evening, congratulations. You have pursued your dreams, challenged yourselves, dedicated time to benefit those around you, and inspired others to seek greatness. To the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, mentors, and friends, thank you for the love, respect, and support you consistently show these impressive young people. Notre Dame is deeply grateful for you. Students, we recognize that you have an important decision ahead. Where will you call home for the next 4 years and beyond? While this may seem like a daunting decision, I encourage you to approach it with an open heart and mind, energetic and bold dreams, and a ton of fun. You have earned this. Enjoy every moment and know that we are honored to walk this journey with you. Tonight, I have the privilege of introducing you to Notre Dame and all that she has to offer. Like most universities, we are honored to celebrate a mission that is focused on extraordinary scholarship and research. But as the leading Catholic research university, there is a defining component to our mission that guides all that we do. Our Catholic character and commitment to forming the full human person ensure that we can offer you an unsurpassed undergraduate experience. We invest in your hearts and minds to help you utilize your God-given talents and achieve greatness. But greatness not simply for yourselves, rather to serve a world deeply in need. This commitment to investing in the formation of the full human person extends beyond the scholarly exploration that will occur in your classroom, research labs, field, or global experiences. At Notre Dame, our students expect and receive a deeper, broader, and richer education. At Notre Dame, science and its applications cannot be separated from moral issues. There is a spirit, an ethos, and a sacred nature to Notre Dame, and I can't wait for you to experience it. So what can you expect to find at Notre Dame? Tonight, you will hear about a variety of items, but I will now highlight 4 primary ones. First, a loving, diverse, and global community dedicated to serving others. Second, inspiring and talented learning environments featuring faculty who are the best in their fields and establishing new frontiers. Third, cutting-edge research that you should expect from an R1 institution. As the only faith-based member of the Association of American Universities, Notre Dame has an opportunity and an obligation to inform research that will impact all of our lives. And fourth, strong traditions that intersect with innovation and creativity. Notre Dame has beloved traditions, many that unite multiple generations around a shared mission. All of you, future members of the class of 2028, you are Notre Dame. We can't wait for you to call Notre Dame home. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to our MC for the evening, my dear colleague and friend, Notre Dame's Assistant Vice President for Admissions, Ms. Deb Johns.
Micki, thank you so much for those wonderful words of welcome. As Micki just shared with you all, my name is Deb Johns, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Assistant Vice President for Undergraduate Admissions for Notre Dame. I'd like to offer my own congratulations to you on your admission to the University of Notre Dame. Thanks so much for sharing through social media those fantastic videos of you receiving your news of your admission. After reviewing all of your files and signing your admission decision letters, it brings me great joy to see your reactions. On behalf of our entire undergraduate admissions team, we're delighted to have you join us this evening. My hope for you is that this session will broaden your understanding of Notre Dame. what makes an undergraduate admission education here so distinctive, and how the many resources available here will provide you with endless opportunities to explore, to grow, and to be pushed beyond your wildest dreams. Tonight, Micki and I are joined by two incredible students, Jessica Vickery, Alfredo Huerta, and at this point, I'd love to have each of you share a little bit about yourselves. How about you first, Jess?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Jessica Vickery, and I'm a junior here at Notre Dame, and I'm studying management consulting in Spanish. Currently on campus, I'm living in Ryan Hall. Go brag, as our group says. But I'm originally from Kankakee, Illinois. While on campus, I'm involved in too many things, but among those, it's improv, mock trial, and also I was involved a little bit in student government last year.
That's great. Wow, you are busy.
Too busy.
Yeah, that's great. And how about you, Alfredo?
Well, hi everyone, my name is Alfredo Huerta. I'm a current sophomore, originally from Miami, Florida. On campus, I live in Duncan Hall, go Highlanders. It's what we like to call the best dorm on campus, but that's up for debate.
Obviously.
In the classroom, I'm double majoring in both accounting and economics. And outside the classroom, I'm a part of the Ultimate Frisbee team, the school's sports analytics club, as well as the school's data club. So we're really excited.
You both do a lot of different things. Well, thank you to you both. So our hope for this evening is that each of you will be able to ask your questions, and we're going to try to answer as many of them as possible. Thank you to all who have already submitted your questions. These are the ones that we will use live. We have two current undergraduate students, not on screen, who are joining the live chat, and they will answer as many questions as they can during our time together. So, knowing that Notre Dame is a unique place with the loads of traditions that Micki spoke to in our introduction, could the three of you distinctly share what is your favorite tradition here at the university? And we'll start with you, Jed. You're like, oh,
me? Oh, no, there's too many. There's too many.
I know.
Okay, so I would say that, so I'm from the Midwest, so obviously there's a lot of snow come winter time in South Bend. There's like no exception. So my favorite thing that I saw right before I came to Notre Dame that I was fully looking forward to the most was the snowball fight against South Quad and North Quad. So it's totally not planned by the university. It's all led by students, but we all have like Instagram, or even like our dorms will lead a walkover, and it's at midnight on the first snowfall of the year, and we will all go, and it'll be South Quad versus North Quad, and we'll all gather together at midnight, and we'll just have a snowball fight. And it like was my favorite experience from my freshman year, like by far. Like I just remember being with all of my friends and being able to go through that. It was amazing.
Oh, I love that. I just love that. How about you, Alfredo?
Yeah, aside from being a big fan of the snowball fight, I would have to say my favorite Notre Dame tradition is parking lot tailgates. And so personally, I'm a huge football fan, but what I love more than football here is the atmosphere that comes along with it, right? And so every game day, right before the game, a few hours before, the parking lot in front of the football stadium, it's a pretty big parking lot, turns into like a sea of tents. And it's just like all tents, all music, all vibes, and it's awesome. It's this big ball of energy. And I think the reason why it's my favorite is because it kind of shows the whole passion of the Notre Dame community, not only present, which like all the students there, but also past, all the alumni coming back, and future, honestly, all the kids there wearing the Notre Dame t-shirts. Kind of shows exactly what Notre Dame's about and how much people love Notre Dame. That's kind of why I really love it.
I love that. And how about you, Micki?
So my favorite tradition also emphasizes the importance of community and unity on this campus. And that revolves around our alma mater. I love it how at the end of every event where the Notre Dame community gathers together, we link arm in arm and we sing the alma mater. And that could be applied at the end of a football game, and it's applied at the end of Mass. And I'm not sure that there's another university who is united with its alma mater in such a beautiful and inclusive manner.
So true. It's so true. So one of the things that I really loved in your introductions is you all talked about your residence hall, and there seems to be some nice allegiances.
Rivalry, maybe. I don't know.
Or something like that. So, this is something that is on the minds of people thinking about, like where they're going to live and how are roommates assigned. And could you share a little bit about how that has played out for the both of you, if you each could take a moment to answer that question?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every year you get assigned a random roommate. So, I mean, well, not every year when you're a freshman, every year for freshmen, not every year. After that, you can pick. But as a freshman, I was assigned a random roommate, like to all of my other fellow freshmen. We also get assigned randomly into a dorm. And this isn't something that's scary. I actually made me a little bit relieved to not have to go through the process of choosing a roommate. And you kind of just are with them for the year. And then by the end, you can then choose whether you live with them again or you go and you choose a different person. I personally chose to stay with my roommate, who was my random since freshman year, and we're still together
great.
now. And
That's great.
yeah, it's awesome, and it's also just a great way to be able to meet somebody new that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise. Because I mean, they're from all different locations and places. I mean, my roommate was from Texas. I would have never known her otherwise. So it was a really great experience to be able to meet someone new like that.
That's great. And how about you, Alfredo?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely kind of scary, just coming from somewhere else and being like, not only am I living somewhere random, but I'm living with someone random who I've never met before. And so I was a little worried personally coming in. I was like, is this going to be A, the right fit for me, or B, is this going to be the right person for me? And so I pulled up on welcome weekend, which we'll talk about a little bit later, to my dorm, and I saw a sign that says Jacks of all trade, masters of none. And I'm like, okay, I'm right at home here. And so your dorm that you are put in, each dorm is kind of serves as its own mini community, right? And so they all have their own different things about them. We all think we're the best on campus, but it's really dunking it, to be honest. But we all think we're the best on campus, and it's just, you get put into this community instantly, and you get put in a place where you can really thrive, right? And everyone has their doors open all the time, and it's you just get to meet so many new people and just interact with so many new people, and it's really a great experience. And to speak on the random roommate part, Jessica, I know you touched upon that a bit. My random roommate and I were complete opposite people. So he was he's a pretty morning person, goes to bed at 9 p.m., wakes up at 5 a.m. I'm the opposite. I go to bed at a little bit later in the night, sleeping a little bit more. We are best friends now. And so I'm really, really glad that that was the case and that I got to room with him, because I don't know if I would have met him otherwise. And so I'm really grateful for kind of the community we helped build through not only that random dorm process, but also that random roommate process. I think it's something really special.
That's neat, yeah. And so sophomore, junior. So another question that a lot of folks had, so am I guaranteed housing? Do I have to live on campus all 4 years? Maybe Jess, you can answer that question. Does a student live on campus?
Well, so you live on campus for about 3 years. So it's you are guaranteed housing. That's where you will live, in whatever dorm. You can transfer dorms your sophomore year or junior year. And then senior year is when you get that opportunity to go off campus if you want to. So I'm planning on hopefully being an RA in my dorm, so I hope to be living on campus next year. But I mean, I have plenty of friends who decided to go and get together and room off campus their senior year, but then there's also still some that live on campus. It's just up to your preference your senior year. But first year through third year, you're on campus, which is a great opportunity.
That's great. So Alfredo, for you, how do you balance sort of the social side of living in the residence halls and being as active as it sounds like you both are with work and while you're here to get an education, right? How do you do that?
So as a whole, I think Notre Dame can kind of be summed up by the phrase work hard, play hard, right? We have hard classes, it's a really good university, but also I feel like everyone here has a really good time, right? Everyone likes to envelop themselves in not only the culture, but also kind of their individual communities. So for me, my work-life balance, I would say I use kind of my extracurriculars and my dorm time to kind of give myself a refresher from my classes, right? And so thankfully I live somewhere where I go and I kind of speak to people for about 15 minutes before I get into my own room. And also I do a lot of clubs that I really enjoy. And so I kind of use that community kind of aside from the classroom to kind of refresh myself and make sure that I'm good to go once I get inside the classroom. And I think the school does a really good job of kind of making sure that you can find your communities outside of the classroom, and even when you live, you don't have to leave within 5 minutes of your room just to find a friend or a community that really loves you.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to switch gears. And now, Micki, it's your turn.
All right. I'm ready.
So you're ready. So one of the things that students are super interested in, as you know, during their time is internships, getting that practical experience that sort of augments the in-class book learning. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how one goes about getting internships here?
Sure, absolutely. So there are a variety of resources where our students can pursue opportunities for internships. From a formal standpoint, that is primarily concentrated in the Morello Family Center for Career Development. And the staff there is fantastic. They are dedicated to our students and help these young people pursue practical experience, as you noted, in the field of their interest. That happens from the summer after their freshman year all the way through the time when they are graduating. I would also comment, though, that placement of internships happens in really organic ways throughout the community. Faculty are dedicated to helping the advancement of our students. The alumni network at Notre Dame is second to none. And so through relationships and through interactions and introductions, many times our students find that their faculty members and their staff members here at Notre Dame and alumni also help in that placement. Over 90% of our students pursue internships and are placed in those in the early terms of their career here at Notre Dame.
Wow, that's great. And does the Career Development Center do other types of activities with students? What kinds of things could a student encounter during their 4 years through the center?
Yes. I'll
Yes,
take that,
please.
and then please, you as
Yes.
students, this would be wonderful if you add to this.
Yes.
But, yes, and I think that this is another example of our comprehensive and commitment to the full human formation here at Notre Dame. It is something that every faculty member, every staff is committed to. And so while career development helps in that placement, both in internships and full-time positions, there are a number of different activities from a professional development standpoint that the team will invest in. How do you interview? How do you prepare for an interview? That goes from how do you write a resume, right? Interactions from an EQ standpoint is something very important within the professional setting. And so there are a variety of workshops and professional development opportunities that the Morello Center will offer and facilitate.
That's great. Anything that you guys would like to offer in terms of have you interacted with the Career Development Center up to this point?
I mean, I've been able to have the opportunity to use their interview rooms.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
if you're, as a student, you're able to have access to different spaces on campus just to be able to do different professional work or even just studying. And one of the great parts about the Morello Center of Development is that they give you interview rooms that you're able to go into. That's a quiet space. It's reserved. My sister's not going to come in and interrupt me, or my roommate won't be playing her music really loud. So it's really great to be able to just utilize that space and be able to focus on my interview, and it's just where I'm comfortable, where I recognize where I am. So it's a wonderful part about the Development Center.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, personally for me, being a business major, the career fair is really important. And so the Career Center, I'm very thankful. They put together this whole kind of week workshop of kind of getting you ready for the career fair and what to expect, kind of like what to do, what strategies to use, how to prepare a resume, do all that stuff. And so I was really grateful for that because I feel like they prepped me really well. And it kind of just helped kind of decrease that learning curve a little bit that comes with networking and talking to professionals.
That's great. So another thing that's really on the minds of incoming students and students here is international experiences and study abroad. And I think you guys have some pretty cool stories about that. So maybe we begin with you, Jess, to talk about your international experiences and your upcoming international experiences. That's
Yeah,
right.
of course. There's so many different places that you can study abroad here. I mean, it's insane. I mean, from Europe to, going to Australia to South America. It was really great being able to have so many different options of just being able to talk to different students and advisors about where I could go, where I want to go. I was lucky enough to be able to study abroad in Santiago, Chile this past semester. And I mean, I really went there to learn the language, get better at Spanish, but I was able to live with a host family. I was able to be there with 15 other Notre Dame students who have now basically become my best friends. I mean, it was a really great growth experience for me personally as well. And I mean, NDI, which is and Notre Dame International is, sorry, I'm so used to calling it NDI, but they're the international group that through ND that is just able to support you kind of through your study abroad experience. So, I mean, maybe you got homesick. I mean, there's people to talk to. I mean, there are people that are there with you, but then you still have your Notre Dame community kind of backing you up from the States. So it was a really magical and amazing experience.
It sounds phenomenal. That's great. That's so great.
Yeah, so typically students go abroad in their junior year or summer, whenever really. But typically it's junior year, right? So as a sophomore now, everyone, like my whole grade is buzzing, like, where are you going abroad? Where are you going abroad? Did you get in? Did you get in? And so personally, next semester, I'm proud to say that I will be going to Toledo, Spain for the fall, and I'm really excited about it. And so it's a cohort of like 15 to 20 of us, and we're just gonna go, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. The program is really well structured, and we had like our first meeting about 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm so excited for it. And so the way I kind of like to think of study abroad, kind of like to piggyback off what Jess said, I like to think that there's like 3 levels of immersion, right? You have number 1, which is kind of like Notre Dame, but somewhere else. That's kind of like our London and Australia program. It's with a large cohort of Notre Dame students, but like in a Notre Dame campus with Notre Dame professors somewhere else. Number 2, which is the program that I like to say I'm doing, which is kind of like Notre Dame, but somewhere else, right? So this is like a partner university that you're with. You're taking classes in a different language, but you're also getting like a little more immersion into that culture. And then lastly, I'd say the kind of good luck figure it out type immersion, which is like that's Hong Kong, Shanghai. I have a friend who's going to Hong Kong, and it's like it's him and like 5 other students. They're just kind of dropping him off in Hong Kong, like, okay, good luck. We'll see you in next semester. So it's really, the school makes sure that anything you want to do, any level of immersion that you want to undergo, we not only have somewhere for you to go, but also a program that probably matches what you want.
Freda, that's really helpful because people do want to have international experiences in different ways. That's fantastic. So, not international, but you mentioned at the beginning, from Miami, Florida.
Yes.
Coming to South Bend. So talk a little bit about that transition and how you got acclimated to being here in South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, so it is a very big transition, obviously. Not only like weather's the obvious one, but also just culture, right? So Miami is predominantly Hispanic. I grew up, everyone in my circle, everyone I knew was pretty much Hispanic, right? And so coming here, that is obviously not the case. And so it was kind of scary coming here at first. The first few weeks were kind of rough. I was like, this is kind of strange. I don't know where I am. I don't really know what I'm doing. But just as time went on and I kind of like allowed myself to get more enveloped in the culture, I found myself all of a sudden surrounded by like a loving family of people who didn't want me to change who I was and who didn't really expect that at all. And so I just kind of like, I found myself fitting in, right? I found myself really enjoying the school. And even though at the beginning it was a little scary and, you know, coming from pretty far away, very different experiences, it understandably is going to be scary. But advice I would give to like incoming students who may be going through something similar is let yourself get enveloped by the culture. People who are really nice, people who are really open, and you will very soon find that. And it's gotten to the point where like, I would like in the middle of December, right towards later, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go home. And I'm like chilling in Miami. And I was talking about home here. So it's like, you kind of let Notre Dame become your second home, and it happens before you even know it.
I love that. So I think that Notre Dame does a lot in terms of helping you in your first year with Welcome Weekend in your first year. I was wondering if you two could speak to how easy was it to get to know people and connect and get engaged with different clubs and organizations? Like how did your residence hall, how did your clubs, how did you find out about them? You both are doing super different types of things.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking specifically on the club aspect, at the beginning of every year, there is a club fair in like the football stadium. So in the atrium, there's all the clubs all set up with their tents and their billboards and their excited people, and they all are welcoming you in to come and talk to them about their club. I mean, there's the dance marathon, there's the improv club, there's economics club, there's chess club, like there's just so many different people that you're able to interact with through that, that club fair. And personally for Ryan Hall, I don't know if it was the same for Duncan, but we had a walkover as a group. So it was really nice because we were all able to kind of go over with people that we knew, and then we could kind of spread out and slowly start to mingle with the other students. But it's like so easy just to sign up for an email and just go ahead and just join a club. And I'm sure that you probably were the same. I signed up for every single club I talked to. It was so hard not to. But then you slowly are able to kind of go to meetings, figure out what you want, drop out of some clubs, keep the rest. And I mean, you meet people so quickly through that. I mean, I know, like, have so many close friends through the clubs that I've been a part of. And then, of course, through our Notre Dame culture of dorms, we're able to form such strong connections so quickly, which is super fun and amazing.
Oh, that's great. And how about for you, Alfredo?
Yeah, I still get emails from Irish Consulting Connect.
You haven't showed up for a meeting.
No, not yet. Maybe I will before I graduate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kind of speak upon Welcome Weekend. The whole concept of Welcome Weekend is really cool and it's really chaotic. So it's really, really fun. And so it's kind of like, as freshmen, you get here on the Friday before classes start on a Tuesday. And so just for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's literally just you, a few upperclassmen, and all the freshmen in the admitted students class there. So we call it Welcome Weekend, and it feels like a summer camp. And there's events going on all the time, like literally all the time. If you want to go play like pickup soccer, it's definitely organized pickup soccer going on. If you want to go to like some ice cream social that the school's having, there's definitely something. And so the school kind of does that to ensure that kind of freshmen are constantly mingling with each other. And so kind of like you're being, like right when you get here, you're being like initiated and enveloped in that community. And so kind of like when you get here, it's like, okay, you not only know people from your dorm, but now you're going to be meeting a lot of people, and you're going to be meeting a lot of like freshmen. It's really fun. It's a great way to kind of like stir the pot right when we get in. And it all concludes with something called Domer Dance. And Domer Dance it's kind of a meme, but like it's really funny because like you just stuff the entire freshman class into like this one auditorium in the middle of Duncan Student Center, and it's like a big dance party. And so it's really, really fun, and it's just a memory that we all look back and laugh upon. And it's really cool how the school just kind of like puts us in this position to kind of start making friends right from the get-go. And I feel they do a really good job of facilitating that.
Oh, that's great. I would love to be part of that Domer Dance as on, like a fly, just to watch the whole thing. I think that
We're
would
not
be so
going to
fun.
get invited.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I couldn't
We've aged
pass.
out of that.
I was going to say,
we're excited for you guys, right?
very,
Maybe
very
like a
excited for
faculty
you.
Domer
That's
Dance.
right. Let's start a new tradition.
So we're gonna change gears a little bit and now talk a little bit about academics. And you know, students come here with some thoughts about what they want to major in. And I'm just wondering if, Micki, you could speak a little bit to choosing a major, changing a major, just a little bit about that in terms of what students can expect academically.
Sure, absolutely. So we very much feel here at Notre Dame that you should have the opportunity to discern, to take risks, right? To see what you're passionate about, to explore new things. And so there is a core curriculum here at the University of Notre Dame that every student will take certain classes over the course of their 4 years. And oftentimes we find that students come in with this preconceived notion of something that they want to study. We might have seen that on your applications of your intended major. And lo and behold, by the time they graduate, they have switched majors 3 to 4 times. Yeah. That is extraordinarily common at the University of Notre Dame because we are encouraging that discernment. We are encouraging students to explore disciplines that perhaps they haven't been exposed to in high school yet, and perhaps explore things that they never thought they wanted to pursue, but when they take a class, it unlocks this curiosity, it unlocks this passion. And so the advisors in all of the colleges really help and support these students as they go along that journey. Every student, their first year, is assigned an advisor in our first year of advising department. And then there also are advisors in each of the respective colleges and schools. So we want to make sure to support you along your journey. We ask that you declare your major by your sophomore year, the end of that. But again, we will support you through the ever-changing exploration of intellectual curiosity and different discernments. Did you switch your major at all?
4 times.
4 times. See? There we
I'm
go.
kidding. From poli-sci to Spanish to psych, back to Spanish, and then I picked up a business major.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you have stayed business.
I can only, all I can say is I went from finance to accounting and added econ. I did not do the full time.
I switched colleges. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the advisors were so supportive.
Yes.
I mean, even when I swapped over to the business school and I got a new advisor, like they were so welcoming, so excited that I joined the little Mendoza family and got me right on track to be able to still graduate on time, which was super, super important to me. So it was. Relax. It's like calm.
That's good.
I think that's worth noting. That is a firm commitment that we have to our students. We will help students graduate in 4 years, still pursue what they're passionate about, but that is a commitment that we make to our students.
Absolutely. And Alfredo, before we started tonight, you had talked about research opportunities and things that students can do to enhance their learning. Wondering if you could share a couple examples of that.
Oh, of course, yeah. So at Notre Dame, obviously we're an R1 research institution, which means we have like all the STEM stuff down. We have all the tactical research down. And so, but we also have, non-STEM research, right? And I think that's very important, right? Because here we treat research not only as kind of like being in the lab and experimenting on goldfish like my roommate did over the summer, which I could talk about that for like 5 minutes, but I won't do that. I won't bore you guys with it, but it is pretty cool. We had to keep one of the fish. But anyways, so we also treat research as kind of like a means of expanding a student's mind, right? And so anything that you really want to do research with, all you have to do is talk to a professor or just like ask the university for like a grant to go do that research. And so I know someone who personally went to London, right? And they got money from the school to do research on Harry Potter and kind of like how that was all made and kind of the influence of Harry Potter on British culture, kind of like how that was all shaped by the landscape in England. And so that I just think that's like the best example of research here is not only limited to inside of the lab, but also outside of the lab, and really anything that you feel passionate about, school's going to help you do that, and school's going to help you learn about that.
I love that. Yeah, that it's not just connected to either engineering or STEM, that it's across all of the disciplines, the opportunity. Yeah, I love that. So Micki, for you, some student or students here asked about, is there help if I ever stumble? Is there any sort of academic assistance if I maybe need a little help with my writing, or I'm having a trouble with a problem set? Is there anything like that that exists here at Notre Dame?
You are going to hear me talk for 45 minutes straight now. No, I'm just kidding. Only because there's so many resources, and this question really gets to the core of why we exist. So when we talk about an unsurpassed undergraduate education, when we talk about investment in the full formation of humans, this is what it's all about, right? We are a family here. Family members help support their other family members. And so when a student is stumbling in the classroom, when they are questioning a relationship in their dorm, when they have questions about their faith, regardless of where that questioning or that hurt or that stumbling occurs, every student here will find themselves enveloped with a plethora of resources of human beings who care about them. And so that could occur in the rector, within the residence halls that we've spoken so much about tonight, our campus ministry, our McDonald's Center for Wellness. There are, again, a number of resources where every member of this community is focused on providing that unsurpassed experience and really caring for the human beings that make up this family. And so the number of resources is plentiful, and it's extraordinarily authentic to make sure that these two amazing young people and every student at Notre Dame is not just surviving, but is truly thriving as a member of this community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, one of the things that Micki just touched upon was service and community service and campus ministry. And that's sort of very important to the students out here, out in the ether tonight, and families. And I was wondering if each of you could speak a little bit to what that means for you here and how you've engaged with it here at the university.
Yeah, totally. So I would say that, I keep going back to the dorms, but they really are such an increment part of just like my personal experience here at Notre Dame. All of the dorms often hold different sorts of activities or events, and usually it's sort of with a fundraising effort for different communities and different organizations within South Bend and beyond that the dorms each support. There also was like different sorts of like food packing for not Illinois Food Bank, but the food bank, just like to kind of just support other people. And it's just really a great opportunity to be able to not only connect with your fellow Notre Dame students, but also just work together towards like a greater cause and just putting your efforts towards something that really does matter.
That's great. And Alfredo, have you been involved in these things as well?
Yes, so I like to think that every group on campus, be it a dorm, a club, or just like a student association, they're all committed to kind of like doing good and doing service. So because that every organization on campus has like service that they do. So for my dorm, for example, we do service every Saturday, which it's early in the morning. It's kind of a commitment. You got to get up like at 8, and you go and you help out farmers in the local South Bend community. And you do it with kind of like your friends. You do it with guys in the dorm, and it's a really fun, not only bonding experience, but also like service experience. And also for the Frisbee team, we volunteer every week. We go to South Bend Boys and Girls Club. I believe it's St. Joe's Boys and Girls Club. We kind of like teach the kids there how to play Frisbee. We hang out with them for a little bit. It's honestly really fun because like every organization here on campus has like, they're doing something to help the greater South Bend community and to kind of like show service and show they care. And I think that's really special. I think it's kind of, the school helps reinforce that really well, and it's showcased perfectly by service events and kind of like by how we bond through service.
That's great. That's great. Now, I know you may say that your extracurricular activities are the most popular, but what do you think, what are some of the more popular extracurricular things that students can do here?
Do you want to go? Yeah.
Sure, I can go. So there's a lot of large clubs here on campus. Really, literally anything you think there might be a club for, there is a club for. We have over
Yes.
500 clubs here on campus, and the example that I think is the funniest is there's a New Jersey club here on campus, and they have their own like New Jersey formal that's coming up. And I know this because I have a few friends from there, and they're like, New Jersey formal's coming up, and I'm like, that is really funny. I'm sorry, that's just really funny. But personally, for me, the club I'm most involved in is the Ultimate Frisbee team, and so I like to think we function as kind of like our own separate dorm because we're like that tight together, right? There's like 70 plus of us, and we're just super tight, and we have not only our own service event like I just told you guys about, we have our own like informal dance, and we have our own formal dance as well. And so that's just kind of like a microcosm of kind of like the types of clubs we have here on campus. You can go from clubs ranging from 200 people if you want to go like SIBC or something like that, but we also have clubs ranging from like 12 people, like the soccer analytics club that I'm part of. So really, any club that you A, think is here, and B, thinks has a community with it, both those things are true.
That's great. And didn't you just mention your Ultimate Frisbee Club just went somewhere for spring break?
Yeah, we had team bonding down in Florida. It was a really fun time.
It sounds great. It sounds really great.
Yeah, I feel like there's just like you mentioned, there's so many clubs here on campus, and it really can go to any sorts of interest that anybody can have. I mean, I remember that my freshman year, I joined a swing dance club, super random. It was just with a group of my friends, and I mean, we would all get together on Mondays and Wednesdays, and we would learn how to swing dance. But then there's last year when I was involved in Senate, which is our student government, and there's presidents and vice presidents of the dorms and of the university, and senators for each dorm, and treasurers and secretaries. Oh my! I mean, there's so many different activities that you can get involved in based on what you were involved in high school, what you want to be involved in, like from athletics to musical theater to creative writing. Like there's a lot of different opportunities. So it's really hard to pinpoint which are the most popular extracurriculars, but there definitely is popular things that people want to be a part of, maybe.
That's great. That's great. So also important to the students thinking about the University of Notre Dame is faith. And I was wondering if you two could speak to what kinds of religious opportunities are here and how one engages with the church here or with their faith communities in the greater South Bend area, if you could speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, totally. So I currently am involved in Iron Sharpens Iron, ISI, which is a Christian group on campus. And I found this group my sophomore year through a friend in my dorm, and she invited me to come along because I am non-denominational Christian. So, I mean, my freshman year, I was definitely going to Mass with some of my friends, but I wanted a different sort of outlet for my religious faith. And upon being invited to go to ISI, I mean, I've been going ever since. And it's like a really great group that I'm able to meet with every Thursday night. And then on Sundays, we're able to get together and we carpool to church together in the surrounding areas. There's a lot of different churches, like just like around Notre Dame, like probably within 20 minutes, which is really nice. And I mean, it's just like another great community like within Notre Dame that you can connect to on like a different meaningful level that may be different from like outside of the Catholic faith that's already implemented here.
That's great. And how about you, Alfredo?
Yeah, so Notre Dame, we are a Catholic university, right? And we say we're a Catholic with the big C, a Catholic with the little c. Catholic with the big C being, obviously, we support Catholic values here. We are a Catholic university. Catholic with the little c, though, which I think is probably the most important part of this conversation, is all-inclusive, right? Universal for everyone. And so even if you are not Catholic on this campus, we really want to emphasize that there is a place for you here and that we help support whatever faith you are part of. So, for example, we have like Jewish student groups, we have Muslim student groups, and say you want to go off campus to worship, the school not only encourages you to do that, but also provides you with transportation to go like your local mosque or synagogue. So I think it's a really nice way that we kind of use faith here on campus, not only to serve as community for everyone, but like, yeah, we use faith as a way to kind of have a community for literally everyone, regardless of what faith you are part of. I think faith here is done in a really nice, very refreshing and very inclusive way.
That's great. That's great.
I will put a plug in, and I hope all of you say yes to this invitation to Notre Dame. I think the most popular thing on Welcome Weekend is Father Pete McCormick's campus ministry hot dog tent.
Oh,
Do you agree?
Yes, definitely.
And with all seriousness, on Welcome Weekend, stop by that tent. Our campus ministry team is amazing, and they want to answer any question that a student or parents have. Really, really inclusive, beautiful staff members there who want to help advance the faith of each student.
Father Pete is incredible too.
He's awesome.
Yes. He needs no plug. He is right
Yeah, he is. Father Pete is Father Pete.
I was going to say he's iconic.
Yes.
For sure. So to all of you guys, I was wondering if you could spend a moment about, and especially for the students, what has been, this was a great question from one of our folks tonight, what has been the most meaningful way in which Notre Dame and the community has supported you and helped you feel safe and cared for? I was wondering if you guys could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like coming to college, I mean, it's such a big step from moving from high school to now, of just like, I mean, you going all the way from Florida to here. I mean, even though I'm only 2 hours from home, like it still is a distance, like separated from my family, my friends. And I think that it was just nice that like everybody felt that. And I think that Notre Dame made that like really clear of like, no, like you're not alone. Like everybody has these feelings, especially like, I mean, with Moreau is like a first year experience, like class that we all have to take. And you're with other freshmen from all the different dorms. And I mean, the entire class is about feeling like imposter syndrome, like I'm not good enough, like he's better at math than me, like I don't know what I can do here. But it's like, no, like everybody feels that way. I mean, this school is so amazing because it's packed full of just so many wonderful, kind, intelligent people, which obviously sometimes makes it hard because I'm like, oh, I'm not as smart, or oh, I'm not as fun. But I mean, like everybody is so supportive in a sense of like, they're like, no, I feel that way too. Like, no, like you're struggling on the exam, I struggled on the exam. Like, it's like through any sort of issue with academics, or with, oh, like my roommate and I just fought, or, oh, I just got into an argument with my sister over the phone and I can't speak with her. Like it's, they understand, you know, like the students understand you, and like they support you in that way of like, there's like this mutual understanding that Notre Dame like has a knack for picking kids that like will be like, oh no, I get you and we're gonna get through this together.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. And how about you, Alfredo? You shared a neat story today that like literally happened to you today with a professor or someone, like a visiting speaker in one of your classes.
Yeah, so a class I had a few hours ago, we were kind of, I'll get to that a little bit later, but we're talking about the idea of kind of like the Notre Dame student, right? And so I think that's one of probably the reason why Notre Dame is so special. It's because the Notre Dame student is a very special type of person, like you talked about, Jessica. It's a person that is looking out for you the whole time, and a person that is not afraid to talk about literally anything with you. And this is kind of like what this professor at one of my classes earlier today was talking about. Came from another university. He's like, I've never seen a university so committed to doing good first, and then kind of like everything else follows beyond that. And he's like, I really enjoy how the university not only supports conversations about like difficult conversations about topics that you may not want to talk about, like being a good person, the ethics of business, for example, faith. They embrace it with open arms. And even if you are coming from the other side of that debate, the school not only encourages those conversations, but kind of welcomes it. And I think that's one of the ways that the Notre Dame community has made me feel like so like safe and kind of like involved and like enveloped in it, is because I have never met a group of people so willing to talk about literally anything, despite what your viewpoint may be, than I have here. And I think that's what makes this place so special, and it's why I love this place.
That's great. That's great. So I have two more questions. The first one, hopefully easy. The second one, more profound, right? So the first one, is it easy to get into South Bend? Is it easy to access the city?
So you can get in through car, obviously, through plane, and then through train. I really enjoyed taking the train because I've never been on a train before, like I came here. And so I like taking the South Shore line from Chicago to here. But I'd say if you want to get here, you can get here. It might take you a little bit of time, not gonna lie, but I can always get here like within half a day max, and that's if I have like delays and stuff like that. So what I normally do is either fly from South Bend to Charlotte, Charlotte to Miami, or I fly Miami to Chicago and take the train over here. And I recommend the train.
The train is fun. I've taken it before to Chicago, and it's great way to travel. Great way to travel. But I mean, I'm from Kankakee, Illinois, so I mean, it's just a little town and kind of the middle of nowhere. But I mean, it's only 2 hours away, so I usually either drive up with my parents, or like I have a car on campus this semester, so I just drive up with my car, and it's just put on my tunes and I just drive. And I just come on campus.
I just put on my tunes and drive.
I love
that. I love that. All right, so the final question, and I thought this was really, really well done. As our students and families are making their final decisions about where they will call home next year, They will undoubtedly seek advice from trusted family and friends. So for each of you, starting with you, Jess, then you, Alfredo, and finally with you, Micki. So why do you think Notre Dame is the right place for our students?
This, I might be taking their answers, but the people. Like, I mean, like, when I was choosing a place to go, I was able to visit all the places I was accepted into with like my parents and with my sisters. And I mean, when I came on campus to Notre Dame, I asked all the schools I got accepted into the same question to a student, why are you here? Like, why do you like this place? And I didn't even get the chance to ask a Notre Dame student that because I ran across them. I said I was an inspected student, and they rambled on for 20 minutes about how much they loved campus. I mean, frankly, it made me almost miss my tour of campus, but I mean, it just really showed that they students love it here. And I mean, and you can feel that energy, it's contagious. And I mean, on a day like today where it's a little bit cold, maybe a little bit dreary, there's still energy in the air. Like there's still people, I can't say anything.
Beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, we're basically Florida.
80 degrees.
Yeah, right. But truthfully, I mean, it's the people here are just like their energy and positivity is infectious, and you're just able to have like this sort of joy when you walk into class or walk into a sporting event. I mean, it's amazing the type of energy that we're able to cultivate within this community that just like makes you happy. Like it just like makes you happy.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So whenever I enter my dorm, it takes me at least 10 minutes minimum, like 20 max, just to get to my room because I'm catching up with like people in my halls.
Gosh, I love that.
I walked into the dining hall today to try and get like lunch, like 5 minutes real quick. On the dining hall, the opposite side of where I live on campus, I ended up talking to like 8 different people, and it's just like the conversation just came so naturally. They were so happy to see me. I was really happy to see them too. Earlier today, my professor was like, guys, like keep coming to office hours, please. I hit like 21 hours of office hours per week last year, and I'm only hitting 8 this year. Like I want to help you guys out. That's why you should come to Notre Dame.
Oh, that's great.
Well, my response will be very similar, the people, the community. And as simple as this might seem, we care, and we care about you. Deb and I in particular have had the privilege of reviewing each of your applications. And you were invited because you are all amazingly joyful, impressive, other-centered, mission-oriented young people. And we care to help you on your journey to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be. I think there are a lot of other institutions out there who I hope have that same commitment and that same mission. I can assure you here, it is extraordinarily authentic. It is something we take very serious, and every decision here will be student-centered. Personally, I will offer and close with this, that there is no other family I would rather be enveloped by. Notre Dame has been with me in the greatest moments of my life, and possibly more importantly, it has supported me in the most difficult and the most challenging. And every loving family, I hope, can offer that. At Notre Dame, it is a firm commitment that that is what you will receive. And Deb, before I turn it back to you to close,
Sure.
can I put another plug in, my second plug of the night. This place is truly magical because of the people. And I hope that all of you will accept our invitation to come here for the rally, which is our admitted student days here at Notre Dame. So April 14th and 15th, please join us on campus for the rally. It is 2 days that you will never regret spending time with fellow admitted students, faculty, staff, and colleagues here at this university. God bless all of you, and thank you on behalf of Our Ladies University. Deb, back to you.
Well, thanks. This has been such a great session. Thank you to our audience for your awesome questions. And thank you so much to the three of you for sharing your Notre Dame experience with all of us. Please know that this is only one of many opportunities for you to engage with our team and the broader Notre Dame community. We're looking forward to seeing many of you, maybe all of you, at the rally. Please follow us on social media, Social Graphic. Have a great and wonderful evening, everyone. And of course, go Irish!